Hello, welcome to another FingerNailFixer video. In this video, let's use a stamping plate to create the base of a fun design. Start off by polishing the nail with 2 layers of your favorite gel polish in kind of a neutral color. It can be shimmery or cream. Then, using your favorite black to stamp with, grab a stamping plate that has kind of a stocking pattern to it or a fishnet. If you need help with stamping or troubleshooting your stamping, I have separate videos for that, so be sure to check them out. Using the black, pick up your fishnet look onto a clear stamper. Then you will be able to use the stamper to place the design on the nails so that the fishnet is on the nail as if it were stockings on a leg. If you stamped with gel polish, be sure to cure it before moving on to the next step. In this instance, I'm stamping with nail polish, so it's going to be instantly dry upon application, and you can remove any excess from around the edges with a brush. Once you're satisfied with the cleanup from the stamp, you can use a small detail brush or a striping brush, whichever you're the most comfortable with, and polish a line of black down the center of the nail. If you feel like you want a little more security, you could go ahead and top coat your stamped design to protect it, so that if you need to clean up your stripe, you have the stamp protected. Be sure and cure that top coat before you add the stripe. If you're fairly confident in your striping abilities, you could go straight in with the black without doing the top coat. It's completely personal preference and what you're the most comfortable with. Using either gel polish or polish, whichever the one you prefer, create a line down the nail in the center to represent the seam of the stockings. If you really wanted to add some flair to this, you could use a gel or a puffy gel to make it more 3D and raised. If you have added a layer of top coat to seal in the fishnet, you could also come in with a small brush and some isopropyl alcohol and crisp up your line for the seam if need be. If you have used gel polish, you could cure it, or if you used regular polish, you could allow it to dry. Then, coming in with a small detail brush, create a bow at the top of the stocking. If you're proficient in 3D liquid and powder or 3D gel, you could absolutely do your bow with 3D instead of just polishing it on. So this is definitely an aspect of the design that you can make your own depending on what your skill set is. You could also skip the bow altogether if you don't want to add that to the look, or use something like a rosette at the top instead of a bow, or a Swarovski crystal. The potential for this design is pretty limitless, as you can change the colors, the textures, and the mediums that you're using to create the look. Once you're finished with the bow, if you used gel polish, cure it, or if you used regular polish, make sure to allow it to dry. If you've already cured your black seam line, you could definitely come in and go over it again to make sure it's a very crisp, opaque black. Cure your final look if you've used gel polish, or allow it to dry if you have used nail polish. Once that's cured, you can apply top coat. If you're using a gel polish, you could use a stylus to crisp up any lines, or you could use a brush with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. It's completely personal preference. Naturally, there will be other methods of cleanup if you are using a 3D medium. In this case, I'm actually going to use a sugaring technique on the seam and the bow. Because the bottom layer is protected with top coat, the powder is going to stick to the seam and the bow. This is going to give it a really matte look as well as kind of a velvety texture. And that velvety texture is what's going to make it really realistic if someone should touch the nails. Tap off any excess after letting it set for a few seconds and then reapply the powder. Tap off the excess and cure. Then you'll be able to remove all the remnants after curing with your 99% isopropyl alcohol. Make sure to play with this design using your own ideas and mediums. I hope you had fun with this basic building block tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you again on another Tutorial Tuesday. Please click thumbs up if you enjoyed the tutorial, and definitely subscribe to the channel to be the first to know when the next video uploads. Thanks again.